Well, hello from Doha Airport here in Qatar, and welcome to another video as I take you on board a Qatar Airways Airbus A380 in their business class on the upper deck for what is quite a long flight. It's not the longest flight in the world, and we're flying out across the Indian Ocean right down to Australia to Sydney in New South Wales. So expect to be in the air for about 14-15 hours flight time. Airbus A380 with some great facilities on board, not fitted out with the Qatar Q suites, but still a great business class product. So I'm going to enjoy myself here in the lounge, and I'll see you on board the plane.
Traveling the world on planes, trains, trams, and more. Join Mark Hopwood as he shows you some of the great journeys he's made. Let's travel to a whole variety of destinations. Remember to drop your comment below, like and subscribe, turn on the notification button, and never miss a video.
It's genuinely hard to find words to describe the Al Mourjan lounge in Doha Airport. In fact, there are two of them, and there's an even more opulent first class facility, and there are other lounges for status holders, for other frequent flyers, and a separate arrivals lounge as well. So it's all rather over the top, but it's great fun to have a look round. The marble, the stone, the height of the lounge, it's all quite incredible. The amount of space is huge. There's a lot of seating, but there's a huge amount of space around the seating. The only disadvantage of that, of course, is you have to walk quite considerable distances to go and get your food and to get drinks if you're not able to be served. So let's have a look at the flight. It's a long haul flight to Sydney, ultra long haul, with this Airbus A380 flying across the Indian Ocean. A few key statistics about the aircraft and the flight for you, and the seat map, of course. 2 levels to this Airbus A380, lower and upper deck. I was on the upper deck showing you there where I was in 16A in business class on the top deck. And the Airbus A380, quite a magnificent aircraft. It's great to see them arrive and depart at airports when you're flying. And this aircraft had of course been put in storage. It had come out of storage as...
Hello from the top deck of this Airbus A380 operated by Qatar Airways for this evening's flight out from Doha in Qatar, out across the Indian Ocean to Sydney in Australia. Great to be on board this aircraft, really good quality aircraft, not fitted with the Q suites that Qatar use on some of their A350s or 777s, but it's got a great business class product. We'll have a look at it in just a moment on this video and talk you through the seats and the facilities. But I'm just settling in, passengers still boarding the aircraft with about half an hour or so to go before departure. So a long flight, not the longest flight in the world, but one of the longest as we head out from Doha in the Middle East across to Sydney. And we'll talk all about the experience, the food, the seat, the bar, and the seating area around the bar, which is one of the iconic features of this aircraft during this feature.
Flight number QR908 is about to Sydney. Besides me, the flight deck are Captain Aladimi Abdul Jabbar and the senior flight officers Alala Shadi and Kalala. Looking for your safety and comfort, cabin today's cabin senior director Miss Ralukan and our award-winning team. Our flight time today will be 13 hours 30 minutes, and we eventually shall be cruising at altitude 39,000 feet. Expecting generally good weather conditions en route, but we will have some area of light turbulence. And for your safety, please keep your seatbelts fastened at all times, even if the seatbelt signs will be switched off. Before we will begin our descent into Sydney, I will update you with the latest weather conditions and arrival information. Until then, please make yourself comfortable and enjoy your world-class service. Wish you a good journey on board of this Qatar Airways flight. Thank you.
Business class on Qatar is a la carte, and that means you can order what you want, when you want, how much you want, as frequently as you'd like, as opposed to, say, flying with British Airways, who will just supply you with a meal when they're ready, and if you don't want it, you won't get it offered again. So you can see the choice is extensive. We're now on to the wine list. The wine list perhaps not as extensive as the food, which is perhaps not a surprise for Qatar Airways from a Muslim country, but the food selection very extensive. Most of the passengers choose to eat when the staff come round and take the orders, so it's not quite as a la carte as you might imagine, but nonetheless the choice is really good, and there's a good selection of snacks, substantial snacks for you to order at any point during the flight. Champagne, red wine, white wine, dessert wine, port to have with the cheese as well. A good selection, and I'm going to take you through now the food. It kicks off with an amuse-bouche, which is not, of course, on the menu. That was very nice. Most people often tell me they go for the Arabic meze. I chose not to take that, and I took the tuna served in a sort of niçoise style, beautifully presented, absolutely delicious. And then I moved on to the main course, a chicken matchboose, really nice meal, a Qatari originated meal, a little bit dry, but on the whole pretty good, and a fairly unadventurous dessert for me, just the berries with a very nice syrup. And they bring you a couple of face cloths along during the flight, just in case you don't know what a face cloth looks like. And after my meal, I retreated back to the bar.
Well, hello from the upper deck of this Qatar Airways Airbus A380 as I head from Doha in Qatar across to Sydney, Australia. Long flight, and I'm sat away from my seat in row 16, come down towards the back of the business class cabin where we have this fantastic bar which is here to allow people to sit on sofas to enjoy a bit of relaxation, talk to their friends or family, or maybe just talk to other passengers, serving what you'd expect really, mixed drinks, beers, wines, good selection of cocktails and mocktails, a few light snacks and a few innovative little bits of food. So great facility, I think enjoyed by many passengers. Quite a few people here right now, as you can probably see behind me, enjoying the facilities here.
And after a really good night's sleep, it was time for breakfast. I had the omelette with the chicken sausage, really delicious. I didn't have too much in the way of starter, but I enjoyed the breakfast, and it was great with some juice and a hot drink. And then it's appropriate, I think, that I just show you a little bit around the seat. Not an untypical business class seat, and certainly not a queue suite, no door, none of that private space, but the table works quite well. Many of you will see the similarity between this seat and the British Airways Club Suite, which is now in use. Storage in the armrest, and that's quite good, but of course large amounts of storage also at the side of the seat as well on the A380 in business class if you take a window seat as well. But there's some additional storage on the other side of the actual seating area. TV, good sized TV, nice view out the window, in my case slightly obscured by the wing, but I didn't mind that, and actually quite a beautiful view, the wing and the two engines. Morning with sunrise way behind us, and actually heading into the evening at Sydney. Even though we were served breakfast, it's quite difficult, I think, for the airlines to manage meal service when you've got such radical changes in time zone over an overnight flight. It didn't really bother me, and actually some lovely views coming in, the clouds, the sun beginning to set, but actually we then were getting ready for our approach into Sydney. as we taxi off the runway at Sydney, that just about wraps it up for this video. I hope you've enjoyed that long flight from Doha across the Indian Ocean into Sydney Kingsford Smith Airport. It's a really interesting aircraft, the Airbus A380, the Qatar Airways one even more so, and some fantastic views as we came in to Sydney. You could see, I'm sure, the Harbour Bridge and the Sydney Opera House, albeit very briefly, and then quite a long taxi from the runway towards our gate at the international terminal at Sydney. Well, I very much enjoyed the Qatar Airways experience. I'd certainly recommend it, and although they don't use the Q suite on that flight, I didn't really mind. Not everyone enjoys that open seat, but I found it a great experience. I'll catch you soon.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe, and click the notification button so you don't miss any of the great trips Mark has coming your way on this YouTube channel.